Welcome back, subscribers and friends. Today is going to be the movie review of the 1989 underground, somewhat cult classic Offerings. Now, this recently has came out on Blu-ray um, by, I believe it's Kino Lorber. Um, I know it's also out on 88 Films. Um, and I like the covers of them a lot better than the cover for this DVD. Um, and basically, before I get into the review, a little backstory for how I got into seeing this film. Um, like I said, the movie came out in 1989, and if I remember right, I think I saw it for the first time in 1992. So we're thinking of, we're back like 26 years ago was the first time I saw it. Um, when I first saw it, it was kind of had a little bit mixed reactions to it. There were certain things I liked about it, and there were certain things I didn't like about it. So I kind of forgot about it until I seen that it came out on blue or DVD from Madison Entertainment in 2003, and then I bought it in 2004. And since then, I've seen it 6 times. So a total of 7 times I've seen this film. Um, and I've kind of it's kind of grew on me over the years. So the only special feature on here is it does have a trailer on it, and yeah, there's previews from other Madison Entertainment um, videos. But the basically storyline of this movie is pretty much where John Radley is a young boy um, who goes with this girl named Gretchen, and they go to this like um, fountain or well or whatever, and he accidentally falls in it because one of the kids pushes in there. So he fast forwards to 10 years later, and he's in a sanctuarium, and it's just basically the storyline is pretty much that he breaks out and he goes searching for the people that torment him as a kid, and he kills them one by one. Um, and he in the process, the main thing about the movie called Offerings is that he's taking some of the body parts that he kills, and he's placing them on the now adult Gretchen's doorstep, offering her pieces. So in reality, you could seek this of like kind of like Pieces, the movie from 1983, or you could think of a little bit of a Halloween vibe in it. Not only because of the musical score has that Halloween uh, like score in it, but it also has basic storyline where this guy's crazy, goes looking for the girl that was nice to him, um, and and all the things that go on with it. Now, the director, Christopher Reynolds, he only directed one other film after this, Lethal Justice. But I would love for them to actually Scream Factory or Shot Factory or somebody come out with like a special edition of the movie and have like interview with the stars and the director. None of the other Blu-rays or DVDs have that, so I would love to see that. Um, the actors in it are Lee Bowman. She actually went on to play in one other film. She plays Gretchen. She knows she's not she's like a typical horror actress. She's pretty much there for um, not eye candy or anything. I mean, she's not ugly or anything like that. It's just basically she's more of like, why am I here kind of thing. You know what I mean? And her friend Elizabeth Green, she never went on to do anything else. The sheriff, um, G. Michael Smith, he actually never did anything either, which is surprising because I liked his performance in the movie. Um, and I noticed that he had some kind of limp in the film. I don't know if that was his character or he hurt himself during the film or that's how he is in real life. I have no idea. but I liked his performance in it. I also liked the performance by the killer, John Radley, Richard Buswell. He actually, a little side note here. Richard Buswell played John Radley as the killer. Actually played in Rain Man. He has a scene as a driver. He's been in actually some other stuff after this and prior to this. Out of the main cast, he's pretty much the main person who's actually continued acting. Now, there's a couple other actors in this movie. J. Michael Ferguson, who's went on to do shows like the Outsiders TV show from the early '90s. You have Chasen Hampton, who's done some stuff after this. And you have Toby Sexton, who actually played Teen Freddy in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Um, Now the pros about this film, the pros is that if you like certain, it's got some gore elements to it, um, and I like how John Radley is like, giving pieces to this girl that helped her out, and I also like the scene in the movie about the pizza, and they didn't order no sausage, but this doesn't taste like sausage. It's kind of like that kind of vibe, and I also like that the sheriff, um, his performance was really good, and think and another scene that I really like is Chasen Hampton, who played Ben Dover. Um, that's the young kid in the movie. He asked the cop asked him what's his name. He says Ben, and what's your last name? Dover. So got that little comedy elements in there. Um, that's pretty much the pros of the film. The cons of the film is it's lit too dark. It kind of reminds me of the movie Humongous when it originally was released on VHS. It's kind of dark. There's a lot of this director photographer. I think the director photographer was yeah, R.E. Braddock. I mean, his. I don't know if it was because of the budget they had or the money they had, but it's got a lot of dark hues in it. But other than that, I mean, it's not a terrible film. Um, um, it does have its moments where you're like the acting can get pretty bad. Um, certain things in the movie you're like, okay, this is really horrible acting. But a lot like when I watch a movie, when I do a review of a movie, I kind of look past some of the bad acting in films because 80s films, even 70s and 60s and up to the 90s, there was a lot of bad acting films, and there's actually some bad acting films today. But you look past that. That's how I look. I look past it, and I watch it for what it is. Is it a classic film? No. Is it a horrible film like, for instance, Killer Tongue? No. Is it a is do I give it a 10 out of 10? No, I do not. I mean, I was right down the middle with me on this one. I would give this a 6, a solid 6. And as if I was going to rate it 5 stars, I would give it a 2.5 stars. Yeah, or I give it 3. I give it 3 stars. Um, I just like I said, the great thing it's interesting to watch certain films that have not aged too well in film history, and this movie really hasn't aged that well as far as picture quality. I mean, there's not a lot of special effects in this. It's all practical effects. There is some great kills in it. And like I said, would I recommend this for people to watch? Yeah, I'd recommend it to you to watch. Buy? It's up to you, just depending on how much you can want to spend out on buying this on either DVD or Blu-ray. Um, is it worth an upgrade if you already have it on DVD? I guess yes and no. Yes for maybe the better picture quality, and no for, it really doesn't have much special features on the Blu-ray as it does on the DVD. So, that's all up to you and on how you want to spend your own money. Um, and final, that's the movie offerings. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review, and the next video I do is going to be My top 20 favorite TV shows that within my collection that have lasted less 3 seasons or less. Um, like I said, I appreciate everybody subscribing and watching these videos, and I hope to leave get some